Hello once again. Alright, well if you're like me, then you are probably right now in your spring break preparing for the state test. Well, when we come back, I don't know about you, but when I come back, I have the state test on April 17th, 18th, and 19th. ELA anyway, which is English Language Arts state test. Now, teachers might think that they're doing you a favor by giving you this big, long packet and making you answer all these questions, going over things that you might not even understand, and this probably won't be even helping you at all, right? Well, what teachers probably have been giving you is a crossword coach book. Now, I managed to get my hands on one, so I'm here to help you if you don't have one. Well, today, as you might see by my teaching point, we're going to be doing comparing and contrasting stories. A major key thing on the state test. Now, if you don't know this strategy, it will probably be very hard for you to get this correct on the state test, and there are many questions like this. So you will be losing major points. So I'm going to write down the major things you should know about this. Okay, so to compare to text, when you are comparing two passages or text, you tell how they are alike. So if they say compare the two texts, you will know that you are going to say how the two texts are alike. If they say to contrast two texts or passages, you will know to state the differences. Because one key thing that they do on the state test every year, even though it did get a lot harder, trust me it did, I've seen it, there will be questions saying, what does compare mean? And it will say alike, different, and no difference, or I don't know. Usually it doesn't have I don't know. But those are two major things. Usually, more towards the end, I don't want to scare anyone, but you will get two different genres. Now, a genre is a type of writing. This is something very important that you have to know. So say it in your mind and I will bug you with this. Genre, type of writing. Genre, type of writing. Contrast, different. Compare, alike. Genre, type of writing. That's something you really need to know. So you will have two different genres, and usually there will be questions on the test of what genre it was. That's a different lesson. But you're going to have the compare and contrast. And usually you'll get the two different genres, whether it's a poem, fiction, non-fiction, I don't know yet. Not a lot of people do. But you're going to get that. And you might have to write an essay, or if you're lucky, which you probably won't be, is you'll just get some multiple choice. So an example of this is even different kinds of literature, like fiction and poetry, can be compared and contrasted. Read the following examples. So I'm going to read two examples, one being a poem and one being fiction. The first one is called A Farmer's Thoughts, which is poetry. A Farmer's Thoughts. The meadow's grass blows. My horse and buggy halts. I take a view of the fields on the wide open prairie. This country is new. May it give us what we need. The land is our provider. Now, in poetry, every, as most people would say, paragraph is divided into stanzas. That's a technical term. So the second piece of literacy is fiction. It's called Leading a Hand to Our Land. Lending a hand to our land. Lending a hand to our land. Jake can't wait to use his new crop irrigation system. He bought it from a farmer's supply store in the city, and many farmers gave it rave reviews. Jake has begun to rely on these modern technologies to keep his business afloat. Relying on the earth to provide us with our riches can be risky, even though a little technology can go a long way down on the farm. So take a minute and think of how they were similar and how they were different. You could jot it down. And usually, if it is a read aloud, you will get the opportunity to take notes. Or if it's there, you'll have the passages just like this, and you can take notes on the side. You are allowed to do that in the booklet, but you will have a little sheet if it's your first time taking this. I'm sorry, that is not a good square. And you'll have A, B, C, D, and you'll mark one bubble. Okay? That is not a square at all. Okay, so hopefully you've thought of this. So the two passages can be compared by their theme. They were both about farms and living off the land. However, the genre of the first passage is a poem, and the genre of the second passage is a story. So just by thinking of how the first passage, A Farmer's Thoughts, was poetry, we already knew that already. So that means you got half the question right. The poem is set in the past, while the story is set in modern times. So that would be the other part to this. And you can kind of get that. So off of lending a hand to our land, you could see technology. But in A Farmer's Thoughts, you hear my horse and buggy halts. Now, we don't still have any buggies, so this is what I would underline. And then I would probably take notes on the side. When you compare and contrast literature, you should see how two different things actually have a lot in common. You can also see how two things that seem similar at first can have many differences between them. So you can go online and look up Common Core learning standards, and you will probably get this. The longest year and why February is 28 days long. If you look up Common Core learning standards, I'm going to write it down. Learning standards, and then you type in to compare and contrast stories, you will get 5. Good luck on the test!